Hello and welcome to User Spotlights. I'm Laura with ClickFunnels, and today I'm joined by Jamie Lewis. Jamie is the founder of BadassClass.com and has released several products, including The Singing Guru, Beats 365, Sonic Producer, I'm with Jamie, and many more. He's a 2 Comma Club award winner, and he's here today to tell us all about his entrepreneurial journey. Hey, Jamie, thanks for being with me today.
Thanks. It's great to be here.
So tell me a little bit about your backstory. I know you've been doing this for quite a while. How did you get involved in entrepreneurship?
2004, when I think I was about like 28 years old or something like that. I got fired from a job. It was like a music production job, and it's kind of lower level, but it was something that I always wanted to do, right? And I'd been working jobs to make money or whatever until I was around that age. But I had like this real experience and knowledge in how to create music since I was like 3 years old. And so that was my first endeavor, was an actual, I wouldn't call it like a SaaS project yet. I got into that later, but it was like a download, like a music downloads where with all my music that I created, and that was Beats 365. And then so because of the affiliate marketplace, it was like, oh my God, it's running on its own. So I was like, I'll just do that again and again and again. And I started that way. And at the same time, I saw all the affiliates were taking to it. So I was like, well, I want to get commissions too. So at the same time as I was building these products, I was like, I want to learn how to do affiliate marketing, and then got into affiliate marketing. And so I had these kind of two, focuses, right? Being a vendor and being an affiliate. And something really cool back then was, I don't know if it was a good thing or a bad thing, but we had limited resources. Like, so this is like 2005, 2006, 2007. And it was interesting. There was only Google ads, Google AdWords and Craigslist and some SEO. And that was it.
Yeah.
Then YouTube came out, and I was like, all right, I'll play some music on a keyboard and see if anyone likes it, And so I'd put up my first videos on YouTube making beats on a keyboard, and everyone in the comments was like, where can I get that keyboard? I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna sign up to Commission Junction and sell some keyboards. So that was like the early days, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's interesting how when you see that people are interested in something, or you're getting organic traffic and people want to buy the things that you're promoting, like why should anyone not be earning commissions from something like that? It's such a basic concept, but something so few people actually do.
Yeah, and that's something I teach to this day. My students, I got a lot of students, and I teach them. I say, look at it that way. If everyone in the comments is asking you for it or begging you for it, and I wasn't even selling, like I wasn't hard selling or anything like that. So, demo it, explain it or whatever. And then a lot of the time you'll find that people will be begging you to buy it. So that was a really good early lesson. So I had a lot of early lessons like that. And back then I didn't know what a funnel was either. I did really well. By the time 2008, I was doing really well, and I didn't have upsells. I didn't know what upsells were, and I didn't do email marketing either.
Yeah, but it sounds like you had a head start in the market, at least from the business perspective.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about Badass Class, what you do, what you teach, what it's all about?
That has been like a project for like the last 6, 7, 8 months, and we're launching it like on Wednesday. And it's, my whole idea was like, I wanted to create a, like an online university for internet marketing, entrepreneurship, and sales, and all sorts of stuff. And so, we put it together in a way where it is somewhat like a SaaS. It's like a software as a service, and there's quizzes and there's all this information, but it's organized really well, and it's kind of like a Montessori school, like where, it the system adapts to individuals,
Yeah.
instead of like, here's the method, you have to do this. If you don't take action and none of that. It's like, because everyone's different. Some people think certain ways. So that's what we put together, and we're
Yeah,
pretty
that's an
proud.
interesting analogy. I like that. What type of funnel are you using, or what have you been using that you find the most success with?
I very, very simple. For instance, I use ClickFunnels because it's awesome. It's like super easy to use, but also everyone else uses it. And like my graphic designers are familiar with, so, but we keep things very, very simple. And yeah, our funnel, our sales funnel is all through, all on ClickFunnels. And the Badass Class funnel is pretty, it's pretty involved and intricate, and has a few different
Yeah,
upsell.
I mean, I got to see a little bit of it by just poking around in your funnels and seeing your like the VSL and the video, which I think is such a great way for a program like that, because you're able to introduce yourself and show your personality and talk about your background. And I feel like that with a program like this, you almost need to show your face and resonate with others and relate to them. And I found it really approachable. And I think that that's a really fascinating way to go about things, for something of this magnitude of like, hey, I want you to learn from me, from the things that I've done, but let me share a little bit about my story first, which I think is just really powerful.
Yeah, yeah. I've got like 3 different VSLs because some, this a sales contest to launch is like primarily pretty affiliate driven. So want to make sure I accommodate different affiliates. Some affiliates like, teaser type stuff and hype and all that. And then some affiliates don't like that. Their people don't like that. And they want like transparency, like super transparency, like showing the inside, under the hood and everything like that. And so, yeah, this one's a little more involved than other ones, but I've
Yeah.
been, I've been teaching it since 2011.
Okay. Wow.
2010 was like my first like internet marketing launch, but there was a couple of them that were like services,
Yeah.
right? And then I got into like teaching it, and ever since then, ever since 2011, I've always been in videos, like always been in the videos and everything. And people, they're always saying like, they'll get in or something into one of my new ones, and then they're like, I'm like, where'd you on the webinars? We unmute people on the webinars too. A lot of people don't do that, but like, all right, who wants to call in? And then we unmute everyone, and there's a couple dogs barking. We mute those back, and then we're like, sorry, we'll get to you in a second. When you get calm your dogs down, and then we're like, so tell us about yourself. And they're like, well, Jamie, I first signed up with you in 2011, and et cetera, And
Really
so,
cool.
yeah, people usually know it's me if, they come across one of my projects because I'm in the videos and stuff.
Cool. Well, going into affiliate marketing, because I know you mentioned you have both, like you work as a vendor and then also as an affiliate and, teaching those methods. From your own perspective, do you see the affiliate world getting oversaturated?
No, never, never. I
Cool.
think, um, as we were talking about earlier, with like back in the day where there weren't as many resources, like I struggled to figure out which time was better, because now we have all these really cool resources and social media, and there's so much more. It's like you have a lot of power now, and there's a couple other good things about nowadays. You have a lot of power when it comes to affiliate marketing and the marketplace and the competitors, etc. But that might be the downside, is you've got a lot of competition and costs are higher, etc. But back then, we didn't have a lot of, we had limited resources, but there wasn't as much competition. So which time period do we favor, right? I think
Yeah.
nowadays is much more fun. And also, here's another good thing about nowadays is, like, you can, as a creative person, I thrive in this environment because, like, for instance, Google rewards creative people now. Back in the day, they would reward anyone. I mean, someone could be like a hacker and just kind of cheat the system with all the stuff that I don't know how to do, all this programming and all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
And so that was kind of a bummer to get beaten by, if I had a really good offer, a really good, I'm really quite funny guy. Like when I do copywriting, it's pretty hilarious. And so I used to just kill it with ads. And sometimes I would get beaten by somebody who's smarter and more technical. And nowadays, you're going to get rewarded in search results for people, human beings, acknowledging that I'm a human being and I'm talking to them, and there's, and so it's more human interactions.
Experiences.
Yeah.
So I have a question about that, and I don't know if you have an answer how like into this you get, but how do you see AI impacting that?
So I'm actually, like, as a copywriter and everything, I watched so many copywriters freak out.
Yeah.
Like, they were freaking out and they're trying so hard to, no offense to my copywriting friends, but they were trying so hard to oh, this sucks, AI stinks,
A job security threat.
Yeah. But oh my God, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I just did this script. I guess I'm gonna spill the beans. It's I know this interview will come out later, but I just did this ridiculous script, and I put it on a teleprompter, and I filmed it like an hour ago in this really weird a dangerous location. And with a drone and everything. And I used ChatGPT for the entire script. It was, I trained it along the way, and, edited heavy editing and then saying, I don't like that part. Can you make me another part and stuff? It's not like you use it and you're like, hey, write me a whole story. You'd be like, write me a paragraph, or write me a sentence or an opening headline or something like that.
Giving it the right prompts so it's still you. Yeah.
And it does it wrong. And then you'll say, look, why are you doing that? I yell at it a lot. I'm like, I don't mean literally, like you did. That was the style. Do it in that style. Don't add in internal things that I'm talking about with you. Please don't spill the beans and put that. And it's like, all right, I get it. I'm sorry. It's the greatest thing. It's really, so a lot of creative people are like, with the job security thing, right? But for me, like, oh my God, it's a freak of nature. I'm just like blown away by it. And
yeah.
So I still write. I write a lot of my own stuff, and sometimes it's like, like when I do my music and write my lyrics, 95% of that is me actually writing it. But this last music video I put out, I had 1 or 2 lines in there that ChatGPT did. But with ChatGPT, like when I ask it to write lyrics, it's just really corny. I mean, I could probably better train it, but why would I don't know.
Yeah. And I think it exists to be a powerful tool when used the right way. Or I don't think it necessarily needs to take away an individual's creativity as much as it can enhance it or be more of like a collaborative tool of finding the prompts that they need to come up with more creative things, which I think it's really cool for copywriters too.
Yeah. And I mean, it could do all sorts of things. It could help you figure out a problem. Like some of the quizzes in Badass Class that helped me create those quizzes.
Yeah.
It's absolutely incredible.
Really cool.
It's mind-boggling. And at first I didn't get it at first. I was kind of like skeptical, but then wow, like, yeah. So I'm pretty blown away. But I think it's the same type of thing. You still have to be pretty creative, like with prompts and stuff. So, and understand the training aspect to it, and also have like a vision of the end result and everything. So I don't think it's going to I think it's the same. You're going to see a lot of people like just overlook it, I think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And,
Yeah.
and that's something that we all need to do, is look into the future. And, I saw it coming a bit. I'm pretty good at looking into the future and saying, well, that trend is now. Don't work on that, right? That's going to be dead in 6 months. And so, yeah, we need to look into the future, what's going to happen next with AI.
Yeah, it's an interesting time for sure. I think it's a pivotal point for a lot of people in internet marketing. Like you can do a lot with it. And I think as long as people are grasping it and embracing it, they'll go far with it. It's the people, I think, that are rejecting it that, probably aren't looking at it the right way.
Yeah. Looking at it the right way is a good point. You know what I mean? Like the perception or whatever, but, God, it can help you with all sorts of different stuff. But again, yeah, for the copywriters who are afraid about it, afraid of it, say you have nothing to worry about. Not a lot of people be, and probably something that goes through their heads, people who do copywriting for a living, probably something that goes through their heads is that it's like their competition is going to be using it. And I mean, maybe, I don't know, competition is going to be using it, and then it's going to be harder to compete or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting time to see what's happening and how people are using it, but certainly fun to play around with. So
yeah.
Going back into ClickFunnels and using them in your business, can you tell me a little bit about your journey of like what led you to using a software like ClickFunnels? Was it for the ease of use? Was it because you were already familiar with Russell?
I was in my own world during, I guess like 2016. I remember we did a launch for a SaaS program, and a software that we did called Domainer Elite. It was actually really quite good. And my partner, I guess his role was the JV manager. My partner, he had ClickFunnels, and he introduced me to it. And we were using his account through that whole time, like 2016, 2017 or something like that. And then, I got started late. I think it's end of 2017 or 2018 I got in, I think. So,
It's been a while.
Yeah. And then I just took off with it. But lately I've really enjoyed working with it lately, actually. Why would that be? I don't know. I got more hands-on. I was like, I want to change the look and
Do you use Classic or 2.0?
I just use Classic. I mean, I might want to start to get into 2.0, but just like with everything else, like I used Final Cut Pro like 1 or something for video editing until like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So it was like 15 years late. And then when I started using the new Final Cut Pro, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'm just like, with that, I was like, oh, there's no way I'm going to relearn video editing and all. I didn't have to relearn it. It was pretty quick. So
yeah, Classic is so powerful, and there's so much that you can do with it. And I mean, I've used both. I personally love them both. What I find really cool about 2.0 is the lack of integrations you need. Like you can start to remove all of those additional softwares or things that you may not even be using, so that you split test, so that you can build your courses, so that you can host video, like all these different things that are a part of 2.0, which just makes your life so much easier. It feels like you're not navigating through a bunch of tabs. So much of what you need is inside that software, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, just do everything. Yeah, I need to jump into it and see how much further I can, kind of annihilate some of the work that we do, see how it can streamline our processes and stuff.
Yeah. Well, and if you like to play with the design of your pages, there's in our editor, we now have style guides. So when you apply it to your site, you can apply it to every page, every button, every headline, like everything has the same style, which also saves so much time if you have multiple funnels and multiple pages and you want them to all have a similar look, which is really cool.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. So So probably like if I ever get frustrated, maybe 2.0 has optimized that. And
Yeah,
yeah.
I definitely recommend at least playing around with it and seeing, how you like it. I was able to um, remove the email marketing software that I was using before and paying quite a bit for on an annual basis, and remove that
Oh,
completely
really?
and import all of my contacts into 2.0. So that was cool. Because you can now create email workflows and follow-ups and autoresponders and everything that you need directly in the software. So it also saves money.
Gotcha.
So, okay, you had mentioned, well, in the introduction, I told our viewers that you are a 2 Comma Club award winner. Can you tell us a little bit about the journey to winning that award and maybe what you have set in terms of goals for the future?
Yeah, I mean, I started I was, I see a lot of my friends winning the 10x and everything, and I was like, oh, there's no way I can, or the 2 Comma. Like I was like, um there's no way I can get that award because you know, I'm I do so much stuff outside, like a lot of like when we talk about sales or all that stuff, there's a lot of stuff I'm doing outside of
Yeah.
ClickFunnels, right? But then I was like, come to think of it, I was also thinking like it's not just one funnel, it's like so many different things.
Yeah.
And so I was thinking, wait a second, I did that on ClickFunnels. So there is one that was like, 1.5 million or something that was in one funnel. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I wish I could get the 10x. I wish I'd used ClickFunnels for everything I'd done. I'd have 2 or 3 of those silver
Wow.
things.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's what you call it, right?
Yeah, from
So anyway,
multiple streams.
yeah,
Well,
I'm kind of like a ClickFunnels newbie. I was like late bloomer, got in like late and everything, and then maybe because I'm using it more and more, and I'm really enjoying it more. But yeah, admittedly, I'm really kind of like a newbie with it. But I'm artistic, very artistic, and like creative, and
Well, I think that's really inspirational for people out there who maybe feel like, no, I'm not an entrepreneur, I'm a creative. It's like you can be both. They're not, mutually exclusive. Like you can be a creative who applies what you do into an online funnel and it works for you. And what I like about what you've done is like you've made the funnel work for you as a creative, and you also found a way to see the other side of that of being an affiliate. So like you're working kind of both angles of it, and you still get to do what you love and be a creative person. I think so many people will be inspired by that.
yeah, and I mean, it must work the other way around too, because I learned business. Like I learned how to use the mathematical side of the brain from doing all of this. But
Yeah.
before that, I didn't know. I was like not interested in math or anything, right?
Yeah.
And didn't know how to do certain mathematical equations that I have to do now, right? So I think the other side is someone, a lot of people they're not creative. And so it does help to build up your creativity, your imagination, and vision.
Yeah.
Imagination and vision are like really important. It's looking into the future,
Mhm.
right? Like, and there's a lot of reasons why you want to have an imagination, be creative, and it's the creative side of the brain, right?
Yeah.
And you look in the future. So that's the one thing, like for people who are creative, get it going, because you can definitely learn it. It can be learned. And like I learned that other side, the 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 math and like the critical thinking and all that stuff.
Yeah. It came along because you were interested, because you were pursuing your creativity, which I think is cool.
Yeah, yeah. I had like a real incentive.
Yeah.
If there's the incentive there and the goal, then should be good.
Yeah.
Kind of pull you along.
Yeah. That's powerful. So speaking of your business and the things that you can teach people, if there was somebody, let's say a very creative person who didn't think that they had a business bone in their body, but they had some really great ideas, and they've only pursued being creative. What kind of advice would you give them for maybe turning that into a business?
If they were creative, start with just brainstorming and writing down, the architecture. So some of the first steps would be your business model and the niche. And then after you get through those stages, then branding. And then after branding, then launch it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, well, no, all right. So after branding, then, you got two different things. You've got your sales and you've got your fulfillment. So, sales page, thank you page.
Yeah.
So I try to keep it simple with people. Now that's like the vendor side. Like if someone's really creative and they're like, I want to do my own product, that's that instruction for that. Yeah. As an affiliate, it's like affiliate marketing is more of like, it's not really like the business model. It's like the method of monetization. So your job, if you want to be an affiliate, you're basically an influencer or a leader. And so branding, cool. But then you don't start writing a table of contents for like your book or anything, not yet. If you want to be an affiliate marketer and make those ClickBank, have those ClickBank bars, like crazy numbers, then build up your social media account and focus on one. Like we've had many case studies where I was like really heavily involved in like building somebody up and, working through them. Right. And so like, all right, we got the brand. Let's open up a YouTube, Facebook page, TikTok, and then the student or the subject of who I'm working with, they take like Facebook is their thing. Like we opened up the YouTube and the TikTok, but Facebook, they just ran with it because that was just like their style. Like they saw the results there. Like for some reason that was just for them. And then some people just go crazy on YouTube and they got like, they're really good at like doing tutorials and stuff.
Yeah.
And then some people are really good at TikTok. Right.
Yeah.
So that's like
let people kind of find their wheelhouse and what works for them and let that take off.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, there's also, sometimes people are really good writers and bloggers and they're going to do really well with SEO. It's a good combination of being creative and being able to write. And then also the technical side of things like analytics and like finding the keywords to focus on, right? Following the rules, So yeah, that's for anyone looking to get started, like, you have to do it in those steps. It's like when you go to study karate, it's going to be boring the first, lesson. And, or like, I think here's a better example. Like if you're going to learn how to play violin, right? So if you learn how to play violin, if you go in for your first violin lesson, you're like, I want to learn how to play like that, like Joshua Bell or something. And you're like holding the bow, like they're teaching how to hold the bow the entire hour. It's boring. Like you're going to be like, I wanted to learn how to play. So, you have to make sure you could be a fast learner and you could be like, I really want this. I really want this. I really want this. And then your teacher's like, wow, you got a great bow hold. You remember that, right? Yeah, I remember that. All right. And then you can go into the next stage. So you can actually go through these stages like really freaking quick, like, I've done projects where I went through every stage like super freaking quick. And, I was like in the shower or something. I'm like, business model, selling to the niches, the people, right? Selling to those people. And then like, oh, I'm going to name it that. Let me go to GoDaddy and see if that domain is available. Boom. It's like half an hour later, I've got the business model and niche, the brand name, and then now start writing your, something I like to teach students is like write your chapters. And, the reason you start writing your chapters are like, they're basically like in the form of like an ebook, whether it's like ClickBank, Kindle, whatever, it's going to be like your bullet points, your modules, and the actual content, like the actual what somebody is buying, so it's kind of like your or here's another metaphor, whatever you call it. If you have a CD, like an artist, like a musician, and you buy the CD, there's songs, right? So it's kind of like that architecture right there. It's like if you have like your one product or your YouTube, you're an affiliate and you've got a YouTube channel, then you have videos inside there. So that is the correct, like, you know what I mean? It's like, it's like the galaxy solar systems, right? Like that. So yeah, it gets better if you look at it that way. I know a lot of people are like scatterbrained, especially young people. Like younger people are like really scatterbrained, like where they're like, they don't know which business model to do. And then put that.
I think they're also looking for that instant gratification. Like nowadays, everything is so mobile and we have such fast access to information that if you sign up for something, you expect to just know exactly how to do it right away, or you expect commissions to come in or whatever. And I think there still needs to be that emphasis on like sharpening the axe before cutting down the tree. It's like you're building the foundation, but the rest will come. And each day it's going to scale and get a little bit better as you're building your brand and your personality and you're creating content or whatever channel you decide to utilize, whether that's on social or in a blog or whatever. I think once people kind of hone in on that and find their wheelhouse, that's probably where it really starts to escalate.
Yeah. I mean, it's really difficult to teach people. People don't want to learn how to become creative. So I sell a lot of done for you stuff. Like I build things that are really freaking cool for people so to save them time and they can get to it quicker. Right. But, when you talk to someone who's having trouble and they're like, I really want to do this, a lot of the time it's that lack of creativity. I'm seeing it. I'm so certain about this. For instance, like, I'll say to a student, hey, did you get it up on ClickBank yet? Did you get your idea up on ClickBank yet? And they'll say, I've been fumbling around with ClickBank all for the last 2 days and I can't log in and I'm so upset and all this stuff. Right. And I'm like, worry about that later. Write the book first. Do all that what I told you to do first, like the niche, brand, table contents, write the book, write the sales page, do all that first. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, really it's a rock and a hard place. So I do a little bit of both. I do try to teach creativity and like make that process, like if they're going to do it, if somebody's going to do it on their own, like make that process simpler. But
but also, how you mentioned that for creatives is like do the tactical stuff, like understand what, like build your own framework, and then you get to be creative just once you follow that framework, which I think it's like it's easy to do. It's just whether or not people will actually sit down and do it.
Yeah, I mean, so a lot of the time, like with my help, they do. People sit down and they're able to use a combination of my templates and then also like stick to that. Don't bypass. You get your butt kicked. Like just if you bypass, like if you want to learn like martial arts, like if you skip those very, very important stages, then you're going to get your butt kicked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's important to like boom, boom, boom with that framework and then build the architecture, whatever it is,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, thank you for that advice and for sharing a little bit about you and your business. Where can people go to learn more about you and what you're doing?
Badassclass.com, or you could do a search on YouTube for like Jamie Lewis domains or something. I do a lot of domaining. So and that's one of my YouTube stuff is like domaining. And then on Facebook, I've got my it's kind of like a B2B type of Facebook, which is interesting. I'm always posting a lot of stuff there, and it's Jamie Lewis Money on Facebook. It's pretty good, but Yeah, and then
Are you on social media as well?
I'm recently on TikTok and and been on Instagram, but yeah, badassclass.com. You know what I mean?
Great. Awesome. Well, thanks. Jamie, do you have any last words for our audience?
No, it was a really good conversation. You have great questions. So thanks for having me on.
Well, thanks so much for being with me today. It was great to get to know you, and hopefully we'll get to chat soon.
Cool.
Thanks, Jamie. Take care.
See you everyone later.